So, has it ever happened where, deadlines have not been met? You all probably would have had to work, say, about 20 hours a day.
But there are challenges that we face from the government side also.
You make it clear to the candidates that this is the procedure that we follow and it is mandatory even by the governments.
And also what happens is in the middle of the process, there are a lot of people who, don't want to wait and they back out that no, now my family is, not interested in sending me abroad.
Welcome to Beyond Borders by Soundlines Global, the podcast where we dive deep into the intricacies of the HR and recruitment fraternity. I'm your host, Mansa, and today we have a very special guest joining us. Kindly welcome Ms. Dimple Gaikwad, Assistant Vice President of India Operations from Soundlines Group. Welcome to our podcast, Ms. Dimple.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited actually to be here.
That's nice. So, Dimple, you have had 15 plus years of phenomenal journey with Soundlines Group, in where you were handling operations, and now you're looking into a completely new division, which is healthcare, right? Could you just tell our viewers and let us know deeper into how this journey has been? How have you grown up the ladder of getting into such a amazing position, being an AVP, So if you could just let us know your entire journey, please.
So honestly, the journey has been really exciting.
That's
nice. Because in this 15 years, I've had like various roles that I had to play. Mm-hmm. So it's not like being a monotonous job.
Okay.
It's different roles where I meet clients, having to interact with so many people. Mm-hmm. The last few years has been really exciting because, I've really got an opportunity to get into the healthcare industry. Actually, it comes from my family because I have my father, my brother, my grandfather who've been into the medicine.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're all doctors, and somewhere in their hearts they wanted me to be a doctor. So somewhere I'm feeling so excited that I'm having some contribution to do with the healthcare.
Wow. So it runs in the DNA.
It runs in the DNA, honestly, and I'm super excited where I'm actually helping people finding them jobs in the right field where they are interested.
It's such a noble field.
It's a noble field, yeah. So that's what my grandfather always said. I'm feeling blessed right now that, there's some contribution from my side as well in the healthcare industry.
That's lovely. That's lovely. So 15 years of this phenomenal journey being in the operations division. How has this been for you, Dimple? I'm sure there would have been a lot of challenges. Because till now, whoever have been on our podcast and I have interviewed rather, all of them have been from the sales background. So there is always a different version when it comes from the sales and then when it comes from the actual execution side of the story, which is the operations, which is what you do in and out. What is this? Tell us a day in, day out story of, how does this go?
So actually being in the operation side, there are a different type of clients that we cater to. Sometimes the industry is different, sometimes the salaries are different, the challenging salaries that we have. So every client has a different need. Some clients want people to come there in like 20 days. So that's a challenge. Some clients will have salaries that are going to be challenging and not as per the market salary.
Standards,
so you have to figure a way out how you are going to deal with that circumstance. So there are different kind of situation with every project, honestly.
I'm sure.
So what happens is as soon as we receive a requirement from the sales team, we sit down together as a team. Okay. So we have our sourcing team there. We have people who actually go on the field, who understand what kind of people we can get where. So as a team, we sit down together. Like we have a team of like 10, 15 people who sit down for a project discussion.
Okay.
And that's where we, streamline things, the processes, who's responsible for what. Mm-hmm. And that's how we, are able to actually meet our targets.
Wow, that's great. So has it happened through this time sometimes where because clients have irrational demands.
Yeah,
some of them, I'm not saying
not all, but yeah, some of them.
So has it ever happened where, deadlines have not been met, and, you have really struggled and kind of been in a very stressful situation where you all probably would have had to work, say, about 20 hours a day?
Many of these times
Many a
have happened,
times.
yeah. So see, it's not only that we as an operations, even if we give, see, now when I have a flow chart, like I know that okay, in 20 25 days we can have people on board in the Gulf. But there are challenges that we face from the government side also. There are sometimes like public holidays
Correct,
where
correct.
we cannot anticipate that there will be a holiday which will take up that time of visa submission,
Correct.
or there are certain delays in getting the flight bookings, or certain immigration issues that happen.
That's
So
right.
these are certain unexpected challenges that we face. So there are times where we have faced such an obstacle, but the team has put in like so much time and efforts to make sure that the deadlines are met somehow.
That's
Yeah.
great. And especially, I think, in such a vast country like India, where you have different festivities,
That
you
is
have
crazy.
so many holidays over
Yeah.
there, and so many events that keep happening. It's so difficult to anticipate.
Yeah.
As you rightly said, like you have issues probably. Visa, maybe some offices are
Even the
closed,
courier services.
courier services, for the guys to commute.
Yeah.
It becomes very difficult.
Yeah.
So all these things actually manifest to it being tough to
It
deploy,
is.
isn't it?
It is definitely. Since we are a pan India, India is a big, large country,
Of
and
course,
getting
yes.
people from each and every corner,
True, true.
getting them at the right time is not
Yes,
easy.
that's
Even
true.
like when they have to, and India being a country where all the facilities are not available in all the cities. Like giving an example for Gamka medical centers, these are not available in all the cities in India till date. So there are challenges where the candidate who has been interviewed in X city, he has to go to a Y city to just finish his medical
Medical.
formalities and
Oh,
things like this. So yeah, so there are challenges that we face, and we
right.
even though such challenges are unexpected, but we take those things into consideration and still are able to meet our targets with our clients.
Since you've moved into this new stint of, looking into rather, I would say, heading the healthcare division for Soundlines Group, how has this approach been in terms of healthcare recruitment in the Middle East for you?
So honestly, the approach is really different. Like what we have been doing for the other industries to the healthcare,
Healthcare,
it's
okay.
really different. Why? Because even the time, it's also the time consuming.
That's
you
true.
know
Yeah.
the process where it takes like literally 25 to 30 days for a person to be interviewed and landing in the Gulf is taking like about 3 months here.
Okay.
So it's a long process and it's a long timeline
Timeline.
that has to be followed. So it's definitely, and also what happens is in the middle of the process, there are a lot of people who, don't want to wait, and they back out that no, now my family is, not interested in sending me abroad. So these are some challenges that we face. But yeah, the approach has been like more tougher than the usual one.
Usual. So in over here, what are the kind of strategies do you imply while sourcing these candidates, and which all sectors? I mean, under healthcare, which all are the positions rather that you Soundlines Group has placed till now?
We at Soundlines, we already have a huge database of healthcare staff. So we have a lot of registered nurses who send their applications to us. We obviously have the newspaper, the social media channels where we get interested applicants. But what is more important is that we have a professional who is actually screening the candidates as per the requirement of the client. Because until and unless that's done, the client will never feel that what he has asked for is being given to him.
Correct.
So screening the right profile is actually very important.
Right. So you basically have a team of qualified
Yes.
a sourcing team
Sourcing team
who's
who
qualified for healthcare.
for healthcare. Yeah, we have a
Healthcare.
team of almost 10 people
That's great.
who have the and who already know the in and outs of the healthcare. What are the qualifications that are required?
Very
What is
important.
what
Yes.
is the experience that will be needed? So a lot of certifications have to be checked. So every hospital or a clinic who places us an order, they have their own specifications. Now, these nurses who are studying in India, obviously the qualifications, the documentations are very different if they are going to have a job here in,
That's
the
right.
Gulf, the Middle East
Yes.
countries. So their documentations have to be checked and verified, and the people also have to, apply for online exams to
Okay.
qualify to practice here in
Okay.
the Middle East.
Okay, which was actually talking about my next question in terms of, how do we ensure that candidates have and they meet the specific requirements that are needed for for the Middle East markets or Middle East clinics and hospitals. So how does Soundlines Group ensure this?
Data flow is one, verification process. This has been, put by the Saudi government only. Like they need the candidate to complete the data flow process where all their documents, like their experience certificates, their education certificates, are verified on an online site, which takes about 15 to 20 days of the process. After that, the candidates have to apply for a prometric exam. That exam is recognized here in the Middle East, where they once they apply and they qualify this exam, they will be getting a license here to work as a specialized nurse.
Okay.
So there are hospitals who are okay to take this exam in Saudi Arabia. There are hospitals who ensure actually that the candidates actually pass the exam and then are sent to Saudi.
Okay, okay. So this is made sure, and even in the preliminary stage, you make it clear to the candidates that this
Yes.
is the procedure that we follow, and it is mandatory even by the governments.
Right. So honestly, all the applicants who want to go to the Middle East, they already do their research and they are aware about what are
Yeah,
the
true.
documents that will be required. But yes, obviously at Soundlines, once a candidate has applied for a job, we have the entire process where we give them an, information about what are the stages and what are the processes that will have to be followed.
Okay.
So this is done with all the interested applicant.
Also, Ms. Dimple, is there any skill test or anything that needs to happen, or is that a mandate by hospitals or clinics who are hiring from the Middle East for candidates
Yeah,
who
so the
they're...
prometric exam which I'm talking
Oh,
about is
that's a
the,
practical
yeah,
test.
that is a test.
I see.
Yeah,
Okay, so
that
that
they
is...
have to apply. So yeah, as I mentioned, that these tests can be given in India as well as once they are here in Saudi Arabia. So there are hospitals who let the candidates work,
Okay.
and then simultaneously they can apply for this exam. So they
Okay.
give them like 2 attempts where they can apply for this test, and once they pass, then they get the license.
Okay, okay, that's great. So, what are the positions that Soundlines Group
So
if
we
deals with?
So we are recruiting all the professions, like from doctors to technicians to
Okay,
nurses, ward boys, all everything to do with healthcare, like all
okay,
the professions. Yeah.
all
Yeah.
professions. Okay. So, since the inception of the healthcare division, which has been quite some years now, what are the challenges that you would have incurred, and how are you overcoming these challenges with the healthcare industry?
So the main challenge is that we have so many competitors in the market already now. So
True.
how are you different
Right.
from the other competitor or the other agency who's going to give the same kind of people?
Correct.
That's really challenging.
True.
So it's all about developing a relation with the client to understand the actual need of the client. That's important, because until unless you understand what the client needs and giving them the kind of manpower, that plays a real important role. And what is the time frame that you can deliver these people in, how much transparent you are with the client in your communications, the follow-ups that you do. So all these are like really crucial, and it plays a really important role.
Yeah, that's true. But so other than the competition, what else? What else do you think are actual challenges that you probably might be facing on a day to day?
So challenges. So honestly, the challenges that we face is about the the salaries that the hospitals offer.
Yes.
So you need to see now there are in the market, there are good salaries as well as average salaries in the market. Now, if your client is offering an average salary, you need to have those kind of people even to accept those salaries,
Correct.
So
That's
this is
right.
the challenge that we face.
Yes. Right. Let's move into our first activity segment, Dimple, in which there are a few questions that I'm going to ask, which is healthcare industry related. You get any question wrong, then you need to be having, you would have a shot, which
Okay.
is not an espresso shot, but we've changed it to keep it a little healthy. So it'll be a
Okay.
bitter gourd shot.
Oh, wow. Oh, what?
Okay, so
Okay.
if we may have the shots, please. All right, so here goes the first question. Which country is known for having the highest number of internationally trained doctors in the world?
In the world. India?
No.
No.
I'll give you another chance.
Mm, internationally trained. Is it a European country?
It's in. No, it's not a European country.
Okay.
USA?
USA? Okay.
Okay, so there goes the first shot. Bitter enough?
Actually,
Okay. What is the average body temperature of a healthy human in degrees Celsius?
37?
Well, that's great. So that saves you a shot. Okay. Which international organization often sets the standards for recruiting healthcare professionals globally?
Who?
Correct. Which vitamin is synthesized by the skin upon exposure to sunlight?
Vitamin D?
Amazing. What is the medical term for high blood pressure?
Medical term? BP? No.
For
Medical
high
term? High blood pressure. HBP? No. What? What is it?
hypertension?
Okay.
So, yes. And the last question to you, Dimple. What is the medical term for memory loss?
Memory loss. Oh, I knew it. Mm,
Something that none of us should have
no, yeah, but
or get.
I knew it.
Starts with A,
Yeah, I know. A.
M,
I'll take
amnesia.
a shot.
Amnesia. Thank you so much, Dimple.
Is there a way that even I can give you some shots?
Oh yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
So that ends our first activity segment.
Okay.